Maybe I gotta unlock this real quick. Range this lock, rotate the body back. This video is called Focus, Hygiene, Focus, and whatchamacallit. Man, this stupid ass pen, bro. No, my shit look crazy in the back. Don't judge. Hygiene. What's good? Hygiene, focus, and sexual lust. That's what we're gonna talk about in this video. I try to touch on topics that give guys leverage. You know what I'm saying? Chat. What's good, y'all? We got a stupid ass bug on the phone, like. Look at this stupid ass nigga. Stupid ass nigga. What's good, Linda? How you feeling today? I'm good. How are you? Make sure you subscribe. Make sure y'all all subscribe. For all 14 of y'all who just came in here, make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be live for like an hour, 2 hours. We're talking about hygiene, focus, and sexual lust. Okay. Linda, where you from? We're going to be talking about hygiene, focus, and sexual lust. All right. First thing, we're going to start in reverse. I'll talk about lust real quick. Now we're going to put it all together. South Africa, okay. Shout out to South Africa. We got people from South. You're from there or you live there now? So let's start with lust and let's look at the other two as we look at lust, right? So a lot of guys, they lose with women for the simple fact of lust. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, chat. Lust is the main reason. I would say 85% of guys can't, what I call, just speak to women. Just speak, right? A lot of guys would get a lot more women if they could just speak, right? You know, y'all don't understand how many women, they were the first ones out of the two of us to see something in me before I seen something in them. in my life for the simple fact that I have a theory and I have a belief in my head that human beings are more attractive when they are off guard or they're not trying. Just like if you look at a photo, the most beautiful photos are of people that are looking this way, they're looking that way, they're busy, they're doing something. They're not super focused on a reaction from somebody. They're not trying to get something out of the situation. You see what I'm saying? And that makes for the most attractive moments in your life. I don't care who's listening. You're more attractive. This is psychology. You're more attractive when you're not trying hard. So we're gonna look at lust, we're gonna look at focus, and we're gonna look at hygiene. So let's go to number two off the rip, hygiene. This is really number one, but we're gonna use it as number two. Hygiene. Why does hygiene matter? So hygiene is something that a lot of people lack, right? We could go 50-50, probably 50% people lack, right? The more hygienic you are, the more sexually attractive you are. For the simple fact that I don't know why, I'm gonna be honest, but it is true. It holds its case. Uh Psychology would tell us, if you was born in the 90s and the 80s, we all know like models, white teeth, um, nice hair. When you're hugging a woman and you smell her hair, you smell the shampoo. Or if a woman's hugging you and she smells your soap or she smells your cologne or whatever it is, it goes with the comes with the territory, right? A lot of people sleep on smell and not only what it could do for the woman, but what it could do for us, right? Before you go outside to go make some money or do your side hustles or whatever you got, spray a little cologne. You know what I'm saying? That make you want to get more money. I don't know about y'all, but it does something up here in my brain, and it says, "Yo, you smell like money." Now, not to mention you probably look like money, but all you got to do, lastly, is feel like money and go ahead and actually get that money in your hand. So it's all connected. It's all connected. And these things will also get you a lot of respect from women. They might not tell you. Like, see, when you look at social media, you see guys getting disrespected all over the place. You see podcasts of gender war, of a lot of people been hurt. A lot of people are bitter and they come to the internet where it makes them feel safe. And then that's how why a lot of people don't level up in terms of relationships because they allow TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook to become their therapist. They're not logical enough to say, let me really call a real therapist. So we could have also added that in here, but we could put that with the third one, which is focus. We spoke about this the other day on a video. Maybe I missed it, whatever the case. Focus is so important, right? I mean, when you add these three things up together, I should have named this like three things to boost your attractability, something like that. But when you add these three levels together, you become a chick magnet. You become somebody who could easily get a chick, bro. A lot of people just aren't thinking, bro. They're not putting their head in the game. They're thinking from they have a heart full of lust. Not to get biblical on you, but they have a heart full of lust. So remember, lust was number one. Look at how that goes in a full circle. Because I don't want any lust in my heart. I don't want no lust in my heart, chat. For the simple fact, for the simple fact that the more lust I have, the less attracted she is. The more lust she has, the more the more how can I explain it? The more sex is going to happen. Now, if she's a bad person with a lot of lust, of course, that kills it a lot of time. But what I'm saying is, if she's a decent person, right? We always talk about vetting, so let these things be a part of that. You got to take care of yourself. You have to. McDonald's can listen. If you don't have no popular demand, you can't demand. You can't vet anybody because you're not attractive. So a lot of guys are highly unattractive, but then they're trying to vet women. And what sense does that make? Right? The only reason uh a place can tell you no, you're not good enough for this, or you are good, like they can't validate you unless they hold a certain amount of value, because that person has to actively be trying to get with your program. They have to actively be trying to get your last name or get your ring or get your D or something. It can't just be because I think I'm vetting somebody and they're not really attracted. So first thing first, you have to be attractive to some degree. The formula on YouTube keep people in fear, and they're still watching ads in their seat watching ads as long as possible. The real sets up the best one with a repeat of what their eyes showed fear from. It's fucked up, lol. To beat it, search only for things. Yo, Arcs, what's good, Arcs? Shout out to Arcs. He on some game. He on some game. He talking about the algorithm and how the internet keep people in fear and shit like that. That's some game. It knows. It knows. I'm just put it like that. It knows. But back to this game, because I try not to get too wrapped up in all of the shenanigans, man. It's a lot of fear mongering on Earth, and I don't get wrapped up in it because that's like a portal or a door. If you start over analyzing the system and the government and this that, it's like a rabbit hole basically, and you don't get healthy when you're in a rabbit hole. You get bitter, you get more mad, you get more wrapped up, opposed to what is it that I got planned tomorrow, right? That's a way better reframe or a thought process. What do I got planned tomorrow? What do I want to do tomorrow? How am I going to achieve what I'm going to achieve tomorrow? Because you can't fight something, but you could move despite something, despite of something. You can't fight some shit, but that's still some game because people need to be aware of where their focus is going. Like we was talking about, everything is connected, right? Um, but that's obvious. I mean, it's not. It's inobvious to some people, right? My target audience is people who need help, and I can't really say it's female, man. I tried to delegate my content to the guys, but what you start to realize is there's a lot of guys out here who, I want to say, they think like women in a way where they're bandwagoners. So if you don't got the biggest platform, yeah, people will stop by real quick, but then you're forgettable at times. So like you said, like it's not only what people fear. Yeah, what you fear will pop up on your algorithm, but if it's something that you also got to subscribe to people that you see is offering value, and if you don't subscribe, then that's on you. You can't just open up a new Instagram or a new whatever you like to be on and ignore positive people and then not expect for the algorithm to say, oh, well, here, watch this one thing that's slightly negative. You feed into that one thing and then it builds on that, like you said. I could talk about this along a lot, but I don't want to. I'll say one more thing. When I moved from my last crib to this crib like 7 years ago, I remember Nipsey Hussle just passed away. I wasn't no big fan, but I knew who he was. And I remember being on my iPhone and looking, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Da 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 da. So the hype around it and all of that stuff. And I remember the algorithm, like you said, just constantly. It was a phase, like a phase where Tupac and Nipsey just kept popping up on my explore page. Like every time I look, it'd be Nipsey, Tupac, Nipsey, Pac, Nipsey. It was just crazy. That was all that they was giving me in the joint. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Pac, but Nipsey, not really. But because I looked at a couple things, they was like, yo, this guy likes to look at everybody who's not on Earth anymore. Like, I'm like, bro, like this is depressing. You understand what I'm saying? And I peeped it back then, and then I was like, I knew in my mind because I wasn't a big Instagram, I wasn't a social media guy back then, but I still had enough time to get lost in that shit. Like when I'm in the crib or whatever. And I'm like, I noticed it right away. I'm like, when did my algorithm become all like dead people that I look up to in a way? That's depressing because it's kind of like making like you're listening to. Okay, so you're on Instagram. You click on you see you go down the explore page. You see Pop. You're like, yo, I wonder what this about. You click on it. His song pop up with the picture. So you're like this. You're like, yo, this I remember this song. This shit fire. But unconsciously, you're like, yo, this is another black man that I really respect, that I kind of look up to in a sense, that died at 25. I started to think to myself, like, is the algorithm making me like more like it's trying to like, I don't know. It's like you gotta pick your poison, bro. Like people gotta really and it's the same thing with food, music, friends. You really can't bet on the algorithm. Like, oh, I'm gonna go outside randomly. I'm gonna go to this random party and just hope that nobody shoots up the club. Like, nah, like you gotta really choose your spots, choose your interests. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing go for choosing women, man. It's all connected, bro. So yeah, I'm sure that there's people controlling people's numbers, and I'm sure there's people controlling. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, bro, YouTube, Instagram, all these algorithms, they ain't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? These is things that somebody had to say, oh, I want to build this website. You know what I'm saying? So it's not rocket science. People get on these platforms and they think like, oh, like I'm old. I'm owed 100 viewers every time I go live. I'm old to be at the top of the algorithm. I'm owed these things. And what that does is it keeps you depressed because now you're like, yo, if I go live and I only get 50 viewers, I'm not that nigga. So then what does that do? It puts you in a loop because unconsciously you're like, why the fuck I only touched 10 viewers? So the next day you wake up, you're like, okay, well, maybe today, and then yeah, you might touch 500 or 1,000, whatever. But it's going like this, bro. It's going like this, which is keeping you consistent. But the truth of the matter is, this is how I look at it. Don't do nothing you don't want to do. Because when you do stuff you don't want to do, you're gonna stress yourself out. That's why I stopped getting 9 to 5 jobs. I'm like, y'all not paying me enough, and I don't really want to do this. You feel me? Yeah, so it's like, and to be honest, those things wear you down. They break you down where you don't want to do something you're doing, and it goes back into this video right here, which is lust, hygiene, and focus. I'm a dating coach, but I'm a lifestyle coach simultaneously. You cannot get women if you're distracted. Like, I'm not saying you can't, but a lot of times you're not going to because you have to actually be around to get chose. A lot of guys don't realize that they're not being seen. They're not even being seen. Like if I didn't go live today, how would he say you look like anything, right? You got to put yourself in positions to be seen. You're going to get hate, you're going to get comments, you're going to get subscribers, you're going to get dickheads, you're going to get people who got different opinions. But the day you sit there and say, "Man, I'm not going to do nothing," the day you sit there and say, "I don't feel like it," but you feel like jerking off every day because that lust, you feel like you want to. And this is why when you get into, say you even go to like a thrift store and you see a pretty young lady, before you can even just have a regular conversation, your gut is already pushing for something. It's saying, "Damn, she's beautiful. Damn, go ahead and talk to her." But it's saying it in a way where it's it's it's, it's pushing you, like the wind. It pushes you towards it, and she can feel that force. She can feel that. She can feel how much you want it. She can feel how much you want it. So your sexual lust is outstripping hers at that point. Y'all gotta understand from the very moment of conception of you meeting her, it's a birth. So you wanna come in with very low interest on her. You wanna come in as if you're the selector. Just like if I'm in the thrift store, I'm gonna look at some clothes, but I'm just shifting through this stuff till I find something that's worth my bang for my buck. Same thing with energy. Okay, yeah, you're pretty, but are you worth this energy I'm about to give? Right? And it goes back to hygiene. Because if she looks at you and say, "He just met me and he already trying to fuck me," she's saying he has poor hygiene. Unconsciously though. She don't not might not consciously be, but she's like, "Nah, I'm not, I'm good." You gotta understand all of these things work together. You're more likely to get more ass when your hygiene is up here than when it's down here. Do a woman know your hygiene just by looking at you? I mean, sometimes, like I can tell a bum on, like when I see someone on the street, I can see someone and look at how they're dressed, and I can tell that this person probably didn't take a shower in X amount of days. And you can't tell that with everybody. But when you're really out here approaching women, you could kind of look at them and kind of see, like, I don't know. If you see, a chick that's an 8 out of 10, you really can't tell. You really can't tell. Because you could look at how someone move and how they think about themselves. Just because she's a woman, don't put it doesn't mean anything, bro. It doesn't mean a damn thing. Like, especially when it comes to hygiene. It could be a chick that you see as beautiful, and her hygiene could be very bad. I'm not saying that her punani stinks or it reeks or anything like that. But you don't know what's going on up in there like that. And that's the danger of porn. And that's the danger of lust and how this video connects these three tiers to each other. They all connect for the bigger picture. Like he said, the bigger picture. Women will do anything for money, but that money is just worthless paper. I wouldn't say it's worthless paper because how is it worthless if we all get hungry every day? We all have an appetite. We all need to nourish our body. I'm not saying buy pizzas with the money, but I'm saying like apples and oranges and grapes go a long way for a healthy nigga like me. Grapes, apples, peaches, pears, plums, even transportation purposes. To say bikes, scooters, cars, Ubers. So I can't say that money ain't is worthless piece of paper because It's just not. It's worth something. I'm not saying it's worth your life or anything like that, but it's worth something. And even if you stop thinking it's worth anything, the rest of the world still move that way. So you could say that. It's easy to say that. Money ain't worth nothing, blah, blah, blah. But then you don't know how many people uh, are on health insurance, like, or on like cheap health, like government assisted health. So if what I did hear is happening, they take that away from people. I think Donald Trump did something where at some point they're not going to have like the free health shit anymore. That means you have to have money. They already fucked with the food stamps for a lot of people. So, like I said, man, people say a lot of things, but don't realize how many people are actually um like comfortable because of the government, not really because they have that grit, that determination to get rich or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Money is worth your energy because people are doing that. Like if it wasn't worth it, then people would say, "Yo, fuck money." Everybody would say, "Fuck money," right? And I see your point. Like, yeah, if enough people say "fuck money," then it changes the algorithm. But what's the chances of that? You know what I'm saying? What's the chances of half of the world saying "fuck money"? You know, if it happened, it happened. But at the end of the day, man, as long as people get hungry enough to get dominoes, and as long as people get horny enough to pay for sex or take a woman on a date or whatever the economy is bidding for, then money has value. It would have to be a new leader, a new supreme leader that's like, man, listen, man, we're everybody turn into a farmer this year, and we're gonna all plant healthy food for everybody, and everybody just do that way. But as long as it's a dog eat dog world to a degree, like the average black man comes from a family tree where even if like, because I grew up, I never valued money at all. I used to think money was the devil, so I used to be like, man, money the root of all evil. I thought like that. I took on that belief, but nobody else in my family did with along with me. You know what I'm saying? On both sides of my family, nobody really thinks that. Now they might know it deep down, but they don't move like that. So even if I think it, how long do you think I can, have that belief? Like, how long can you hold on to that belief? Especially, I'm 30 years old right now, so it's like I'm not getting younger. The world is getting uglier, and it's like getting nice and ugly at the same time. So it's unpredictable. Money can make you less like needy. It can make you ask people less for things. It's money can be powerful, bro. And I think that we need to quit acting. When we try to make these tough statements against money, it'd be a waste of time because we all know that your night is better when you can order DoorDash. We all know that if your kids need something and you can't get your kids something, you're gonna feel some type of way. We all know that if you meet a baddie and she want to go out on a date, and it's not about kissing her ass, but it's about like if you can't do it at all, you're gonna be like, damn, I wasted my time even approaching. Say you approach 10 women or 15 women, and the only one that gives you her number is an absolute baddie, 10 out of 10. She looks like the girl of your dreams. And all you have to do to complete this mission is take her out one time. She's gonna give you the ass right after that shit. And that's genuinely how it's usually really in real life. But she's gonna give you the ass right after that shit, right? But the mission goes aborted or voided for the simple fact, not that you're being a cheapskate, right? Because I respect the nigga if he got the money, he like, nah, bitch, just come over and fuck. That's respectable. Because you could say that. You could do what you want as a man. But you can't do it because you're lazy and you don't like, or you have a undeveloped thought process about money. Like you have the same thought process you had as a teenager today. That money is evil because you heard that somewhere. And you might have had jobs here and there, but you never really got on some money shit. So you just talking out of your ass. You're not talking about the real truth. You know what I'm saying? Because that could have been the mother of your kids. That could have been, damn near potentially the future. But you didn't not do it because you didn't want to do it. You didn't do it because you couldn't do it. Those are two different things. Women will do anything for money. Fair point. When we die, it becomes worthless. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, to think about when you die is ignorance because when you were dead, you wasn't sitting there thinking about when you were going to come alive. So when people say when we, when you pass away, like that's not something to plan for. You're planning for something you can't see. You know what I'm saying? You're planning for something that you don't remember before you got here. You're planning for something that's not has nothing to do with right now. I understand when people say that though, like yo, like you can't take this with you. You can't take the. Okay, of course not. That's not even a question. That's not even on the table. That's it's illogical information. If we was talking about that, it'd be a no brainer. We're talking about the next 40 years of your life. You know what I'm saying? Next 50 years of your life, and you can take money with you there. So that's basically what I'm trying to say, man. So hygiene. I don't care though. Even if I know people who are struggling right now and they do YouTube, people living out of their car, making it work. You don't need to live in a mansion to be super hygienic. You really just need to have direction in life. You got to know what stores to go in to get the products that you want to keep around so you always smell healthy. You always smell, well, yeah, smell healthy technically, but yes, smell healthy, smell good, look good, get a lint roller from the dollar store. You know, these things motivate me. Having a fresh pair of shoes, well, that too, but some jeans to throw on, whatever. Those things motivate, and they motivate that pussy to get wet too. Not gonna lie. But people are not gonna tell you that because it's like clothes ain't everything, money ain't everything, but they do move the needle. So we gonna sit here and talk about how something ain't everything, nothing ain't everything. Even the fact that you a man ain't everything, because another man could kill you and then take your bitch and then start a family with the bitch that trying to start a family with you. So even being a man ain't really the end all be all. It's really about persistence. That's the biggest word that I think I got in this lifetime in this universe that I've stumbled across. Persist, man. You gotta persist. You gotta persist in life. A lot of y'all got goals. A lot of y'all got dreams. A lot of y'all got destinations. And a lot of these women that y'all cross paths with is gonna try to de-escalate. Because y'all gotta remember, a woman is not a fucking leader. This is why I always try to emphasize this. Because a woman is a de-escalator. A man is an escalator. That's why women will try to get on your dick when you get money because they're trying to escalate up the escalator. A woman is, and you're at the mall You got the two escalators. You got this one going up. You got this one going down. A man fucking with a woman is actually not a asset. It's a liability. A woman fucking with a man is an asset. But the way the world is built now, a lot of women are like, man, listen, I don't need a man. We seen this starting to take place in the early 2000s. I don't need a man. And that's exactly why attraction is important. Without attraction, you can't win. You cannot win. She cannot. She has no reason to be anywhere near in square foot of you if you're not attractive, bro. And I'm not telling y'all physically just like your face or whatever, but anything, energy, energy wise, potential wise. These are things women look at. Potential wise. That's why y'all like, what? How can they fuck with Chad and Tyrone and all of these guys? Well, these guys have potential, bro. At the end of the day, that's really what y'all fail to realize. These guys have potential. And like I said, with the three things, the three tiers in this video, lust, he has potential to make her feel lust for him and to not for him to not be totally inside of his lust. He has potential to be hygienic. Like just cause you from the streets, bruh, you could be the cleanest nigga on the planet coming out the slums. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of people are. A lot of people don't realize, right? Don't get it fucked up. And then you got a lot of people who are very focused that come from very difficult situations. This is why the bad boy can smash the quote unquote good girl because she has nothing in her life that went wrong. Nothing in her life went wrong enough to where she's like, oh, I gotta make sure I'm clean. Cause I seen roaches on my counter. I literally lived in a crib in third grade when we had roaches. Shit, we be seeing mice in this crib. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't get that. No, just because you got mice and roaches, that don't mean you're gonna get bitches. But I'm telling you, that does make you want to be more clean. It does make you focused. Okay, if I don't change my situation, it's gonna be things around that could really be counterproductive towards what I'm trying to do. You bring a girl over your crib, you got a mouse running across the fucking floor. It is what it is. I'm not saying that that's the biggest turnoff in the world, but women will sometimes like you gotta understand women nature, man. They'll throw some shit up in your face. They'll peep some shit while shit is going good between y'all. As soon as y'all start arguing, she's bringing everything up. So hygiene isn't just taking a shower and smelling good. Hygiene is when you meet even a beautiful woman, you ask yourself, why should I fuck her? Why should I do that? Like, yes, one thing for me to come up to her and talk to her, but during the conversation, when you're texting these women and talking to these women, what is it about her that's so special? What is it that's really pulling me towards her? Because obviously, at first, it's her looks, but then that quickly should die out fast. You shouldn't be so mesmerized that you don't have a real conversation with her. You know what I'm saying? Real conversations, again, it's a different form of hygiene in my opinion. Hygiene. Because if I start talking to you, you tell me you smoke cigarettes. Okay, cool. I'm not attracted to that. Not to say that that makes her hygiene go down, but it kind of does in a way. But it does in terms of me trying to, have sex with you. Cigarettes is not a drug, but who's to say I want, my kids to, who's to say I might not like that. So that's that can mess with that. But see, the average guy would say, fuck them cigarettes. I'm trying to crush. And I ain't gonna lie to you, depending on how bad she is, I might say fuck it too. Like if Rihanna's got a pack of, Newports, that shit, nigga might smash you, but I don't know if I'm really into that like that. But yeah, I'm about to end this live because we've been live for an hour, ain't no really nobody in here. And that ain't nothing but the devil. So nigga like me, I don't already got my point across, and that's all that really matters. I love y'all, man. The people who support, uh, like I said, man, 3 different levels: hygiene, focus, sexual lust. Get these things under control. You're gonna be better out here. Like you can still jerk off, fellas. I'm not gonna lie. That shit never goes out of style. You know what I'm saying? But slow down on that shit. Do that shit when, 2 times a week. Do it when you deserve it. Oh yeah, I've been approaching women, every day. You know what I'm saying? Um, I had a date today, but the date didn't fall through. Okay, I'm about to jerk off. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Then you might follow up another day in the week, but you don't gotta be sitting there, man, stuck in the crib doing that shit every day like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna fuck up what we talking about. The potential. Every human being has potential. But the lust, hygiene, and the focus, these are things that you need. And we're gonna talk about focus tomorrow. So I'm gonna lock in on focus. We're gonna talk about that because I genuinely believe focus is oh man, it's not being sold out here in no more like it was in the late '80s, in the early '90s, and the early 2000s. Men are less focused than they ever been, and we need to get back to them roots of being focused. That's how you change the trajectory of your life through focus. Like tomorrow, I got some shit I got to do. I have to, because the devil working overtime. I have to lock in on what I'm talking about tomorrow. I know my boiling points. I know my breaking points. I know all of that. You know what I'm saying? The devil want to wear us down, want to break you down, man. You got to get locked in on this game, bro. Because when we talk about hygiene, I'm even talking about health. You got hygiene, you got health gene. They connected. When you go to the doctors and you sick, why do you think when you sick, people be like, ugh, health and hygiene are the same fucking thing. A healthy person is gonna naturally get bitches. I always tell y'all that. And it's a reason why they look good. They're a good looking person. I always tell y'all when I wake up and I eat fruit and I go out in the field, I get totally different reactions from women than I get when I eat Subway or something or some shit like that. I love those places though. That's my chink in my armor, right? I grew up eating these places, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever. I grew up eating that, so it's easy for me to relapse. And when I relapse, that's fucking up your hygiene because as within, so without. And your breath stink more. Your breath is more likely to stink when you're eating cheese doodles and you know any form of candy or like, bruh, let's be honest. Fasting and eating fruit is the only 2 things we can do, bruh. Soon as you eat some chicken or some dead shit, you put a corcus inside of your body. It doesn't. You don't. You don't number two that out in that week or that next week. When you eat fruit, it goes through and cleanses everything and comes out of you in the same day. Your breath don't stink. You barely don't really got to take a shower at that point because your body is, first of all, it's detoxing, but then it's also like you're not sweating after you detox. So you might detox for a day, and then after that day, your body is just perfect. It's in a perfect state, you know. So your hygiene, a lot of guys gotta understand that shit, man. We gotta lead with that, bro. Because health and hygiene is connected. So your brain, there's a such thing called brain rot. You don't want your brain, everything is health. I don't even like talking about this shit though, because it feel like this topic is fucking stupid. Like, it's not stupid, it's too smart for people who not gonna listen. Like, it gotta be 1,000 people in here for talk about that shit. Cause they not gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people out here who eat what they want to eat, and they still get money and still make it in life to a degree that people not gonna listen. Shit, I'm not always gonna listen to that, and that's an issue for me. I have smoke with that about myself. I don't like that about myself. You know what I'm saying? If I say I'm a vegan and fruitarian, then I meet a woman, a beautiful woman, and she's putting on me as if we're gonna be like, when I meet a woman, I don't always know exactly what I want from her, right? Because it could be sex or it could be something more. But it takes time to actually see her true colors. People think that guys are finessing women out here. They never stop to think, what if women are the true finessers? Like, because for them to get you in a relationship when you could be out here fucking all the women, right? So you can have your cake and eat it too. And you're in your early 20s to mid 30s. Women know, if I was, they say, if I was a guy, I would be out here fucking all the bitches. But then, they look at you, they say he's cute, and then they put a double standard in place, right? They put a double standard in place because they can. Right? Back in the day when a guy was an emperor or a king or any respectable creature, he's not even going to debate with a woman these things. So I'm trying to tell you. He's not even going to debate with a woman about these things. Time to go. So could play, women could hide shit and get away with it. They can hide their whole thing. But see, here's the crazy part, right? Guys shouldn't even worry about that because the question always boils down to this one square root. Do you want to reproduce with her? Like, skip all of that marriage, all of that bullshit. Like, do you want to reproduce with her? Yes or no? You could break this whole dating shit down to a simple question, a yes or no question. Like, now that I'm 30, I don't gotta sit here and like, oh, like, about all of this stuff, this whole whirlwind of information. I just gotta ask, would I reproduce with her or not? If the answer is yes, continue to talk to her. If the answer is no, then don't. It's just that simple. That's the game in a nutshell. Because when you add all this extra stuff, marriage and all of the stuff that the woman is going to try to bring up, it starts making it feel more complicated. Like it starts making it feel like a like now she's bargaining you. You approach her, but she's now trying to get what she wants. That's more of a trade off. You know what I'm saying? I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. So I tell y'all, women are slick enough to act totally or partially disinterested until that point comes where they say, okay, he been talking to me enough. He invested what 2 to 4 weeks conversation with me. Now my nervous system finally tells me this is what she's going through. I'm gonna call it the BS cycle. The BS cycle. It takes 2 to 4 weeks. By that time, she feels like she knows. I ain't gonna say she knows everything, but she feels like she knows something about you. She's felt you out. Uh, Decided like I don't want to say who and where she's gonna place you on her roster. I don't want to assume that every woman in the world has a roster. But think about that for a second, fellas. If that's the case, if every woman on earth has a roster, except for like, high school, some high school chicks probably don't got no roster, but college, whatever, whatever. Because I never know if it's some, even some women in college though, like I'm saying, like probably I don't got no, every woman can't afford to have one, is what I'm trying to say. Every woman is not that social. So she's not able to have it. Now she can have it because when pussy is more scarce than D, just by the laws of nature. That's why they can leverage it over you. They can leverage it and make you feel insecure. They can make you feel insecure. So they gotta go through the BS cycle, which is 2 to 4 weeks, which is a whole month. And if you, what they see is this: if he sticks around, there's two things that's happening in her mind right there. At that point, at the end of the BS cycle, she's saying if he sticks around, he's either worthless and has no holes, which some women would love that. Some women will cuff that. Or he really likes me. Now I'm gonna tell you the catch 22. This is why women can't be good leaders, because there's a catch 22 to them even doing it at all. This is why God didn't make it that way. He's worthless and has no holes, meaning that at some point I'm going to resent this nigga so much that I'm gonna start really bullying him in this relationship. That's the worst case scenario. And then you got the other one. He really likes me. That's her dream. That's her dream, right? Comes at the end of her cycle of her bullshit cycle. Her dream is this guy is attractive. He checks all the boxes, and I think he really likes me. This is when y'all see a healthy relationship. This is when y'all see two people having good sex, good, spending quality time together. and just enjoying each other on this earth. You know what I'm saying? On this earth. I'm trying to draw a picture of planet Earth real quick. So they're enjoying each other on this earth. That's not only her dream, that's also usually the man's dream too. That's what you call a perfect match. Appreciate that gold coin, bruh. So this is what we call a perfect match. This is what both genders, uh, I wouldn't say strive to have. Right in the early 2000s, we seen this more often. We seen this more often. No, I'm not from Merlin. I'm not from Merlin. Like shit. But I know you is though. But we talking about this game, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, lock in. Make sure you hit that button, man, because you guess what, bro? We talking about some real game. I hope you out here mangling with these women in these streets and whatnot, man. Cause shit, the shit I'm preaching right now, this shit so much game. This shit, man, this shit need to go down in history. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even a lot of people in here, but it ain't about that. It ain't about that. I don't been doing this shit long enough. I know any day the numbers could fluctuate. Anytime it's 5 in the morning, so I'm not even expecting it to be 100, 200. Yes, I have a girlfriend, but you lunching with the hat mo. I'm lunching. You got the slang down. He said, Mo, listen, man. If you say you got a girl, how old you is and how old she is? Yo, Eldon, you single? Let's talk, y'all. Let's talk, y'all. And how'd you meet? Did you approach her or like how that went down? It's funny because I could ask these same questions last year and not have the thoughts in my head that I'm having. These, this is how you know when you learning, like when you're more wise. Cause I'm asking these questions and what y'all say gonna put me down on some more game. Every when you got game, you learn shit every time you have another conversation. Like you don't get dumber. You get to a point where it's snowball effect. Like you know so much that you see life in every situation. You see, like I could talk to anybody and oh yeah, nah, this conversation gonna be valuable, but just because I'm in it, like you know what I'm saying? Because I already know what I'm saying. Like a lot of people walk around, they when it come to dating, especially, they really hopeless and helpless. They don't got no drive, they don't got nothing. They don't know what's going on. I just broke this shit down. I wish I had a fucking whiteboard so I could have made it make sense. Like so y'all could see it, how much sense it made. But I just tied this shit all the way from talking about being a vegan or fruitarian to seeing a woman's true colors. The woman's gonna go for a relationship. You're probably met her and you're trying to fuck, right? And I'm trying to show y'all how this shit progresses to where it goes for most guys. I'm trying to show y'all, bro, that women have what I call the BS cycle. Just like they got the period cycle, they have a bullshit cycle. When y'all first meet, if that woman asking you to take her on a date, that's anything she say in the first 2 to 4 weeks of meeting her is her bullshit cycle. It's just like the honeymoon phase, but it's the bullshit cycle, BS cycle. If you really out here talking to women, you're gonna see this cycle. And the more times you see the cycle happening, the BS cycle, the less you feed into what? Her BS. And what's the point of not feeding into her BS? Because you're the leader. And it's going to allow you to lead better. Because if you don't take a stance and sometimes disagree with some shit that she be saying in that fucking bullshit cycle, this is what guys talk about when they talk about the shit test and, frame control and all of this stuff. It's just a cycle. When you meet any stranger, really, it's some bullshit. But I'm saying, like, when you meet a chick that you trying to fuck, yeah, it's gonna be a bullshit cycle. You know what I'm saying? Cause she gotta try to see what type of nigga you is, but in reality, that's all fluff. Because she either thinks you're fine enough to fuck or you're not. If we take it back to the basics and we say women aren't leaders. Am I saying there's no women on earth that are leaders? No. There's women that's put in position to lead. By who? Usually by some men. For God loved the world and gave his own son. I'm not against a woman having power. If y'all ever think y'all watching my channel and y'all like, look at this nigga, man, talking crazy about women. Nah, this ain't that type of party. I'm just here to get y'all to wisen up. You know what I'm saying? Wisen up. Take a woman on a date instead of taking her back to the crib. I'm not saying it's insane. I'm not saying it's insane. I'm not saying it's insane. But a man should do everything consciously. Like not nothing because he feel pressured. Not nothing because he feel like he's not gonna get no punani. He's gonna no. That's not how you do it. But I'm about to end the video. Like I said, bro, I'm gonna see you on the next video. Hopefully, this stick with y'all the BS cycle. Hopefully, everything I said makes sense. It's 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Much love to all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy GL Dub, man. Just stop. Hey, stop kissing their ass and start talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Use the BS cycle to your advantage. Within 2 to 4 weeks of texting, calling, or whatever ways that y'all talk, don't stress nothing. Don't say, "Oh dang, bro, she ain't pull up yet." Don't do that to yourself because you're gonna put pressure where pressure don't need to be put. Because a woman, if she is not fucking you fast, is usually because she's saying, I don't feel urged enough. I don't feel pushed or compelled to do this. So why should I get mad? Why should I cut her off? Why should I take action at all? I put myself in her orbit. That's it. And then when we're not around each other, we're not around each other. I'm talking to other women. I'm moving on. She's still on my phone, whatever. I keep it cordial because they make the decision when they ready to get crushed, and we have to still make the indecision. That's what they don't tell you on YouTube. Yes, a woman is going to open up to you like a clam, but we still got to reach inside the clam and get the pearl. The end all be all is us. The beginning and the end is the man. The woman is in the middle of the man, of what we're doing. So this isn't to bash women. This is to restore the order. Restore the order to the dynamic. But men got to move more manlier in order to make this happen. You got to know your own worth. If a chick rejects you, walk away. Get in the habit of walking away. The more you walk away, the more it's like a muscle. built over the months, and then a few years, you learn it's not the end of the world for me to walk away. You get desensitized to the fact that she can say no. She don't owe you nothing. She not your mom. She not a family member. Nothing. She don't owe you nothing. And in fact, when they say no, I get excited because I'm like, damn, I wonder who and how the next chick gonna look. I wonder what she gonna look like. You know, that curiosity is everything to me. So I'm always want to know what that next chick look like. Is she beautiful? Does she has a do she got ass, titties? What's her hairstyle? Not to mention, she treats me better. Is it really a loss if she's gonna treat me better? Or did I come up? Y'all so busy getting mad at the rejection that y'all not even saying, yo, God got something right around this corner. Let me go over there and say something again. What Aaliyah said, dust yourself off and try again. She understood the mission. At first you don't succeed. You gotta dust yourself off and try again. That's the algorithm. Never accept failure. If the day you accept failure, the day the woman rises into a god. She rises and raises into your God. That's why they're able to destroy you so easily. When just by shoo, I'm not interested. I have a boyfriend. That's why they can raise their voice and they could talk and they could do it. They could do everything a man could do, like they say. Because they could do what a fake ass man could do, but not a real man. Hell no. Because a lot of fake ass men can't even do what a real man could do. So how a woman can do what a man could do? A woman can only do the surface shit that a man could do, like get a job. That's surface. I'm not saying they can't follow directions and then but do what we're telling them, but it's stemming from us. Like I'm saying, it's like it's so simple that it sounds sexist. So I don't like to talk about that. But a real woman gonna see a leader and she gonna follow. That's why I'm telling you, I don't try to beat a woman down, nag a woman, belittle a woman into submission. Shoot them away. When they don't want you, shoot them away. Let them go. They'll be back. Maybe not at episode 10, maybe episode 30. They'll come back. You know what I'm saying? Don't wear yourself down over rejection, man. It's not worth it. Always have backup plans. Like, comment, subscribe, man. See you on the next video. I'm out, man. See ya.